Amy K YouTube Live, and today I'm going to show you how I made a card. I actually posted it already on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com, but I'll link directly to the blog post once I get done with this video in the description, so you can head over there and find all the cardstock cuts and the PDF tutorial and all that good stuff that I usually provide with my cards, but doing things a little differently today because we've got some promotions and things starting tomorrow, so I just wanted to do my card and share it today. And I'll be sharing a bunch of stuff on my blog tomorrow. So, all right, I think I've got things kind of rearranged so that I can reach everything now, and hopefully I'm somewhat straight on the screen. So hopefully you all are having a wonderful day. It is a beautiful day here in New Jersey. Weather is outstanding today. We're supposed to cool off, I think, a little bit this week, but today it's going to be like 78 or something and sunny, and it's just beautiful outside. So I can't complain about that. I do love fall, love this time of year, and yay for some nice weather to go with it. So hey, Karen and Sally and Roxanne and Judy, thanks so much. Karen's sneaking in from work. I won't tell a soul, I promise. All right. So this is the card we're making today. It, again, is a pretty quick and easy, but that's kind of what I always do. So this one has got some of the Modern Christmas Specialty Designer Series paper. Hopefully you can see the little gold in the paper back there. And then the Ornamental Christmas images on it, and just kind of a fun little card. And like I said, details are on my blog, but I'll link to it once I'm done with the video. So, hey, thanks for hopping in from Oregon, and Carol and Kathy and Mel and Debbie, Barbara, everybody, thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. All right, Ornamental Christmas is the name of the stamp set. Bundle, actually. It's, excuse me. Goodness. It's part of a suite, actually, that's got designer paper. There's some baker's twine. I'm trying to remember what else is in the suite. And the stamp set bundle, obviously, I feel like there's one thing I'm missing, but whatever. All good. So there is a suite, and it is actually one of the online exclusive items. So this one is actually not in a catalog. It's only in the online store, so you can go out and find it there. Again, Ornamental Christmas is the name of it. So it's got some pretty Christmas tree images, a star, a couple of nice Christmas sentiments, and then this kind of swishy image. I've seen it used in a lot of different ways. I think the original way that it was designed to be used, I think, is you were supposed to use it as part of the ornament, but again, you can use it however you like. I've seen it kind of stamped a couple times, and people have used like the tree and kind of stamped it up the tree, so you can use it for lots of different things. So stamp set is Ornamental Christmas. Dies are also called Ornamental Christmas. There are tree dies that match the stamped images. There's a big circle die, which is a really useful one, so if you don't have this set, if nothing else, get it for the circle die because it's awesome. There's a star die, and this one actually will die cut the stamped star. These little, I don't know what this thing is called. I'm sure there's a term for it, but what the shape that's on the background of the paper here, you can die cut that as well. And then there's this ornament that's also got a little die cut piece here that you can decorate the ornament with. Ornament top. So yeah, it's a great die set. Again, Ornamental Christmas is the name of the stamp set bundle. All right. Other thing that I did use on this is the traditional labels dies. I used the larger of the two oval dies from that die set. This is one that is in the mini catalog, and there is an actual stamp set, and it's got beautiful sentiments in it in the mini catalog. So you might as well just go ahead and get the bundle. Well, actually, the whole suite, because it's awesome. So there you go. All right. So again, this is called Traditional Labels, and it is in the current Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. All right, I think that's it for the stuff that I used on it. Looking around and, yep, trying not to throw things on the floor. So speaking of tomorrow, October 1st, and they are running it through the entire month of October, Stampin' Up! Has an awesome joining special that is happening. I actually don't think that I've ever seen one that has had this much stuff in it before. So it is an awesome, awesome deal. They have two options for a starter kit. So if you're not currently a demonstrator, but you're thinking of joining, jump in on this one. The first option is pay $35, and you get to pick $125 worth of Stampin' Up! Merchandise of your choice. It's totally your pick. You can pick whatever you want. $125 worth of stuff. The kit will ship for free. You get a free paper pumpkin kit with it. You're going to get a box of catalogs with it. And that's kind of about it. So it's an awesome deal. Or the second deal is you can pay the regular $99, and again, it'll ship for free, and you get to pick $189 worth of Stampin' Up! Merchandise with your starter kit. So either way, it's an awesome deal. So if you want to get in for less expensive, that's a screaming deal. If you're wanting to get something like the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, for instance, that would be a great item to add as the $99 starter kit. So basically, you'd be paying $99. You could get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you'd still have some money left over to buy a bundle or something that you want with it. So there you go. Definitely let me know if you're interested. I would love to chat with you more about it. We've got a great little team, very relaxed stampers. There's no push to buy or sell anything. You can do what you want with it. If you want to do the business side, awesome. If you don't and you just want to do order for yourself and just get the discount, you can certainly do that too. So let me know if you have questions about that. We'd love to have you come join our team. Again, no pressure. We just all love the product, and that's really what makes us do it. So, golly, I haven't been paying attention. I see Tennille and Carol and Melissa, Marilyn, Amy, Amanda, Phyllis, Cindy. Thanks everybody for hopping in. I appreciate it. 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar from Stampin' Up! Is available now. I did hear a rumor yesterday. I don't know for sure if it's true, but in the US, I did hear that the Advent calendars are they're going quickly. They didn't say they're like low inventory and run out immediately and buy one, but it did sound like they were kind of flying off the shelves. So if you are wanting one of these calendars, go ahead and get it ordered now, just so that you don't miss out on it. It's awesome. Again, I actually saw an unboxing video of it, so I got a peek at what was inside it, and it's awesome. So there's embellishments, dies, designer series paper. There's a stamp set that goes with it. So all sorts of things. It is not at all, the contents of the Advent calendar are not at all holiday related. So these are things that you can actually use all year round. So definitely a good deal if you are interested in something like that. It also would be a great gift if you have somebody that's looking for a gift for you as the crafter and doesn't know what to get you. Send them a little link to one of these calendars and say, hey, get me that. So it'd be a great little Christmas gift too. So, and Carol says her calendar's arriving on Friday. So yay, have fun using all the stuff in it. So, all right, last thing before we get going, online exclusives, just wanted to remind you, make sure that you're checking those anytime that you're out in the online store and shopping. So tomorrow when you're getting the new kits or possibly looking at joining, go out, take a look, online exclusives. There are products, again, that aren't tied to any catalogs, so they kind of come and go. And yeah, so make sure you're out there taking a look at those. To find those, you're going to go to stampinup.com and then click on the menu button and then the little button that says online exclusives. And that will take you to a page with all of the goodies in there. Okay, enough yakking, y'all are saying. Okay. Let's get going on the card. So my original card, and I just realized I totally screwed this up, the card base. Hold on. Thank goodness I do have another card base cut, because I was thinking I could show you, you can do this either way. And then I realized I wrapped the twine around the card front. This card base is not going to work. So we'll do a quick swap out. Let me go score this quickly and I'll be right back. All right, so there we go. Already the first whoopsie of the video. I can't even believe. Okay. All right, so card base is basic black, and this one, it does matter. You do need to have a 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2, and hopefully I scored it in the right spot in my race over there. It looks like I did. Because again, if you want to wrap the twine around the front like I did, you will definitely need this style of card base. If you don't care about the twine and don't want it to be on there, then no worries. So, hey, God, thanks for hopping in, Melanie and Karen. All right, so I could have made a hole and wrapped it around, but that would have been a lot more work than just grabbing another card base. So, all right. So we've got a piece of the Modern Christmas Specialty Designer Series paper. And again, it's specialty because it's got some gold foiling in it. This is 4 1/4 by 11 and scored. It's not scored. Card base is basic black. And the card base is cut to, again, 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2 in the middle. Again, basic black. You could also probably use just your basic white cardstock with it as well, but I thought black would be a little bit nicer, a little more dramatic for the holidays. We're going to go ahead and stick this on the card front with multi-purpose liquid glue. And I think that's the last time I'll use that liquid glue on my card because, you know me, I'm liquid glue. I usually glue myself to something. So first base just places some, yes, I could have done that, Cindy, but number one, I'm too lazy, and number two, thankfully I had another one cut. It just was spacing off when I wanted to put stuff together. All right, got a piece of basic white cardstock, and we're going to roughly center this, and I'll slide it up a little bit so that you can see. Again, I'm using this darker line here on my grid paper as the roughly center of my panel. This is 3 3/8 by 4 1/4 inches, and again, it's basic white cardstock, and I'm going to grab Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and this is kind of that spiny looking tree, the little, I don't know, skinnier tree. We're going to ink this up with Tuxedo Black. And again, the only reason I kind of roughly centered this is so that I could hopefully roughly center my stamped images on the piece. So, and if you don't get it perfectly centered, that's just fine. It's hand stamped, and you can say you meant it to be that way. All right, so we're going to stamp a second one. And then one more, we're going to stamp a third one over on the other side. And again, I didn't really spend a ton of time trying to figure out, making sure it was perfectly straight, all that stuff. I didn't do any of it. So just want them stamped across the background. You're going to be putting stuff over the front of it, so nobody's really going to know anyway. All right, now I've got a piece of gold foil sheets. And again, if you are one of the people that likes to cut the centers out of it, you certainly can. My issue and the reason that I don't do it is because my cutting plates are usually so chewed up that when I run stuff through, die cuts through, it marks up the edges of it, and then it doesn't look as pretty, in my opinion. So I don't usually cut the center out of my foil sheets, but if you want to do that to conserve a little bit, you certainly can. But this is 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. On the gold foil sheets. The other thing that you can do if you don't want to have to cut the center out of them is you can just cut little strips of gold foil sheets and then stick them on either side of it too. That's another little trick that I do sometimes if I'm a little short on whatever paper it is that I'm planning to use. And then we're just going to take this and we will stick it, hopefully get it centered on there and somewhat straight. And then we're going to rub it good on the back. And then we're going to do the same thing, just going to put it right on the card front with a little bit of Stampin' Seal. So, all right. And as you can see, it's starting to get redder and redder in there. We'll probably run out before the end. I do have another one, thankfully, ready to roll here if I happen to run out. All right. And now again, I'm just going to, there isn't like any specific measurement, any specific place that I put this on here. The main thing I'm lining up on the grid paper is it just helps me visually to get it on here a little bit straighter. And that's all. Again, if you have better vision than I do, you can just do it however. But for me, it helps to have the grid paper behind it because it kind of, I don't know, it helps me to visualize it a little bit more. I've got some of the black and white and gold baker's twine that is part of this suite. And we're just going to take the black twine and we're going to wrap it around the card front twice. Then we're going to tie a little bow. All right, there we go. Little bow over here on the left-hand side. And I'm tying a knot first. Usually that helps to kind of hold the twine in place a little bit better so that I can then mess around with the bow and make the bow look a little bit prettier. Once I've tied the knot, that's like having the third hand there, so that I could mess around and not get the bow tied correctly and then not have to worry about trying to figure out how to hold everything together. So there we go, getting that tied. And I've got way more twine than I need, but I do find that usually when I cut it too short, then I can't ever get it to tie right. So having a little extra and snipping it off usually works much better for me in the twine department. All right. Setting that aside, and I'm going to grab just a piece of basic white cardstock, and we're going to do a little heat embossing. So it's going to get loud in here for a second. Grabbing Versamark to start with, and I've got the kind of filled-in tree image from the Ornamental Christmas stamp set. Got my embossing buddy, and we're just going to go all over this piece of basic white cardstock. And there's no specific measurement for the cardstock, just kind of a bigger one because we're going to stamp 2 trees and a sentiment on it. So I'm going to attempt to do it all in one swing with Versamark ink. All right, so we will stamp one tree over in this corner. And then we're going to ink it up and stamp the second tree kind of right next to it here. Actually, I'm going to take it and flip it like that so that I don't have to worry about accidentally stamping it over the top of the other tree. And then the final thing I'm going to do is stamp the sentiment. And this is the "'Tis the Season" sentiment. And I'm just going to, again, stamp it generally up here on the top so that I don't have to worry about getting anywhere near the trees and accidentally having to, things overlap or die cuts over the top of each other, that sort of thing. All right. Yes, reverse tweezers do come in handy. But when I'm using the little baker's twine like that, I just find that it's easier to tie a knot. And then I don't have to worry so much about the having the third hand or the tweezers or anything handy. All right, sprinkling these with some gold embossing powder. Then I'm going to go and get the sentiment sprinkled as well. All right, got a little bit of stray there. It looks like I maybe goobered something on the paper. Just brushing off the little extra flecks. Then I'm going to close up my embossing powder. That is from the Metallics Wow embossing powder set, so that it's got copper, silver, and gold in it. And then I'm going to grab the Stampin' Up! Heat tool, and this heat tool's got 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying and a level 2 setting for heat embossing. So just got it turned up to the level 2 setting, and it takes just a second for it to heat. So just letting it kind of blow off into the distance and heat up a little bit before I turn it towards my project. And so, hey, Drew, thanks for hopping in. So, all right. Turn it here and see if I can get the embossing to get started. And just want to, oh, there it's going. So just want to wait for it to get that smooth, shiny look, and then kind of keep the heat tool moving along the project so you don't accidentally overheat it and burn your embossing powder, because you can definitely do that, and I have done it many times. And then it turns kind of brown and yucky and dull and not pretty at all, so you definitely don't want that. All right, getting the sentiment here. Then I'm going to turn it and get the second tree, hopefully. Trying to keep my fingers out of it too, so I don't smear it and so I don't burn my little fingers. All right, almost done. And just kind of give everything a quick once over to make sure that I didn't miss anything. There we go. All right, now I'm just giving it a second to cool off, because if you touch it immediately when it's still warm from the heat tool, or when it's still really hot from the heat tool, you can actually smear it, and that is also equally disappointing and messy. Again, all things I've done. So just giving it a second to cool down. And now I'm going to go do my die cutting, and I'll show you which dies I'm using. Again, throwing stuff on the floor. All right. So I'm going to use this little kind of the double-decker tree die. I don't know if that's the official word for it, but that one fits around the tree nicely. And then I've got my oval, the larger oval die here, and that one fits really nicely around the sentiment. So I'm going to go run this through the die cutting machine. I'm going to have to do it twice, obviously, to get both of the trees cut, but I'll be back in just 1 second. All right. Okay. See if I get tree 1 done. All right, so there's my sentiment, and it is one that it's got a little bit of an edge around it, so you want to be a little careful when you're pulling that one out, because that does actually cut there along the edges. It doesn't just emboss it, it cuts it, so there is a little hole in there, and if you pull it, you can rip your sentiment. And there's tree number 1. All right. And there we've got tree number 2 cut and ready to go here. Get these dies out of my way. And then we're going to go back over to the card front, and we're going to just adhere things on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm going to take my trees first, and we'll flip them over here and stick some dimensionals under the trees. I think we'll stick a couple more on here and get the little backings off them. So the ornament dies are really nice. It's a great set, so definitely very pretty. Hey, Sherry, thanks for joining. All right, so I'm going to take this little tree and we're going to just kind of tuck it under the bow, but over top of the twine. Kind of line it up over here on the left-hand side. I'm not going to totally smoosh it down yet, just in case I need to pick it up and wiggle it around a little bit. This little die cut, I'm going to be careful about where I put my dimensionals because this I did find is going to overlap here, so I don't want to put a dimensional underneath there. I will probably grab a little glue dot instead, but dimensionals under the rest of it. I can use Stampin' Seal too since I have that out and ready to go. Grab a little Stampin' Seal and we'll just, well, I thought I had it ready to go. Put a little Stampin' Seal right on that little point of the tree. Or like I said, you can use glue dot or liquid glue if you prefer, just because it overlaps. And when I originally put this together, the first time I had a dimensional there and then realized that was not going to work. So, all right. There we go. Now I'm going to grab my sentiment, and we're actually going to put just dimensionals on the lower part, and then we'll put a little bit of Stampin' Seal up here in the center because that's going to be stuck on the bottom of that tree. And then we'll take a couple, stick it to myself, take a couple dimensionals and put it down underneath. Got to peel both of the backings off. There we go. All right, and we're just going to layer this right over the top of the tree and make sure that I'm on the card front. There we go. And final thing for the card front is I've got a couple of the neutral matte dots, and you probably didn't even see them there, but they are here on the card front. You can definitely see it when it's in your hand, but may not show up so well in the video. So I never thought it was the inside of the card. Trips it. Yeah, so sometimes things do get upside down and we just don't worry about it. So, you know, sometimes they're right side up, sometimes they're not. And I've sent usually the cards like that, I send those to my sisters, and then we all get a good laugh out of it. So, yeah, so it's all good. You can still send them even though they're crazy inside. So, all right, just stuck my two little dots on there. Inside of the card, throwing things around, is pretty simple as well. I've got my Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and we're just going to be stamping Merry Christmas in there. And a couple of little trees. So let's get that inked up, and we'll stamp that here, hopefully fairly straight. And the sentiment is not perfectly straight anyway, so you don't even have to worry too much about being fairly straight. Now, since I did have this in black ink, and I'm going to be stamping it in Darling Duckling, I do need to clean the stamp in between times. Because, yeah, yellow is one of those inks that if you stick black ink in it, it definitely shows. So, although it's not a total loss if you happen to do that, because again, all things I've done before, you can take like a paper towel and basically sop up and sop up and sop up the black ink, and it takes a long time of doing it, and then re-inking it with whatever the yellow ink is, and you can use your ink pad still. Again, all things I've learned because I've messed up enough stuff. So there we go. All right, Darling Duckling was the closest that I could find to what would be gold, and so that's what I went with for the trees inside. Why do they make dies for the sentiments cut all the way through on the edges? It's not cut all the way through on the, I mean, I guess, yeah, it's held together here in the center. I'm assuming it's just to give it a little bit more of a dramatic look. Embossing looks totally different. So that's my guess. Again, I'm not the die designer, so I don't know the true why about it. But it just gives it's a little more impact if you do that. I don't know. I was trying to think if it wouldn't even make sense to put like ribbon or anything through it, I don't think. But sometimes they'll cut them with slots on the edges, and you can slide ribbons through them and kind of secure it to the card front with a ribbon. But yeah, I don't know. So, all right, let's go ahead and stick this on the inside. A little bit of the Stampin' Seal, and that's going to be it. The card is all done. So there you go. Again, details are already posted on this card. There's a tutorial that's out there, and I'll be updating it with a link to the video tutorial. And in the description of this video, I will also update that to show or to send you straight over to the blog post where the details are already posted for this card. So you can grab the tutorial and all that stuff out there. And be sure you come check my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. There's all kinds of new stuff starting, that great starter kit promotion, 3 new kits. There's a new crafting class from Stampin' Up! That'll be available to order. And yeah, I don't know. There's just a bunch of stuff. So come check my blog tomorrow. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your week. I will plan to be live around 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday, and then again around 2 o'clock Eastern Time next week, Tuesday. So till then, have a great week, and let me know if you have questions. And again, if you're not currently a demonstrator, think about joining. It's an awesome deal. All right, enough about that. All right, chat with